Your Holiness, since the outbreak of coronavirus this January, this year, many lives has undergone tremendous changes at work or at home in a very short span of 6 months. The rapid spread of the virus to even the most remote village of the Amazon have created a lot of anxiety and fear. With the global lockdown, strained healthcare system, increased mental health issue, and high unemployment rate, the youth are facing with uncertainty on how the future lies for them. The world has become more complex, more interconnected, and seemingly harder to deal with more than before. And today in our call, we have over 700 youth, mainly from Southeast Asia countries. 13 of the youth today, a mixture of youth, students, and adults will be asking their question to you directly. However, before that, Your Holiness, what would be your advice to the young leaders of the future in this current situation? Thank you, Your Holiness.
Okay. Thank you. Firstly, I appreciate the organizer who created this opportunity. So thank you very much. Then I always, share with other people, and one of my fundamental belief that is entire 7 billion human beings, we are same. From the Buddhist viewpoint, entire sentient being is same. In the sense, all have the desire having happy life, happy family. Even small birds, they also have that same desire. Now we human beings, because of our intelligence, and unfortunately, our intelligence sometimes is combined with our destructive emotion. Other animals also, destructive emotion there, but they have no such intelligence. So their activities, problem created by their sort of activities, animal limited. But we human beings, because of our this wonderful brain, we develop technology, science. Unfortunately, technology, science is used for war, for violence, making weapons, including hydrogen bomb. These are other animals cannot do. We human beings, this wonderful brain under control of destructive emotion, then these negative things happen. So since I think a lot of problem today we are facing, we humanity or world facing, is essentially our own creation. So now, since a lot of problem, our own creation, therefore, we have the responsibility to tackle this problem, to reduce this problem. Logically, problem which created by a human being, then logically we also have the ability to reduce this problem. So now, basic thing is basic human nature. Now, according to scientists, some scientists, they say basic human nature is more compassionate because we are social animal. Any social animal, there is sense of concern of their own community. So we also is a social animal. So from birth, we have the sense of concern of our community. So now, that's, I think, the ultimate sort of source of our strength, compassion, altruism. Altruism there, then the enthusiasm, energy automatically come. So now today, important, one of my commitment is 7 billion human beings, whether believer or non-believer, we should have a sense of more, altruistic sort of thinking. Because that, you see, part of our nature and the reality also now today's world, too much division. And that, say, causing too much strong sort of sense of we and they. And then including war happen. So now, a sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. Then there is no basis to killing each other. So therefore, my number one commitment is try to promote sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. Different nationality, different country, different religion, that is secondary. That's more or less private business. Mainly, we are human beings. I think, for example, when we in remote area, when we, you see, some way we just want oneself lonely, remain there, then one human being approach, then first the reaction is, oh, one human being there. You see, no sort of idea what is nationality, what is religion, what is races, no. So long, you see, 2 legs, 2 arms, or human face, we simply feel, oh, there is one human being there, I can seek some help from him. That is nature. So therefore, today, really we need too many problems because we too much, emphasis differences. That's the secondary. The remedy to reduce that, we must go deeper way where all 7 billion human beings are same human being. Same way born, same way taking mother's milk, same way die. So, while we alive, much better live together with sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings, and then try to promote human compassion, human loving kindness. So that's my number one commitment. So I want to share with you. Then number 2 commitment, religious harmony. On this planet, over 1,000 years, I think almost 3,000 years, different religious tradition develop. All carry the message of love, inspired in different philosophy, different concept. All, you see, carry the practice of love and forgiveness, tolerance. So all major religious tradition, different philosophy there. Some say there is creator. Those theistic religion, they believe creator. And then those non-theistic religion, you see, no belief, no idea of creator, ourself, you see, created. And then, as you see, scientists say, evolution. Gradually, we human being, from monkey, from further as a further goes, some, you see, I think originally some jelly, jellyfish or something. Then gradually, you see, come to earth,
land, on land.
or land. Then gradually, you see, we develop like that. So our brain also, you see, 1,000 years, several thousand years, gradually develop with our physical. So therefore, the different philosophical view, but all carry same message of love. So on that basis, religious harmony certainly can develop. India is one example. All world major religious traditions live together in India, like Judaism, Christianity, then Zoroastrianism, all these different, religious traditions live together here. We never heard, you see, problem. For example, problem between Shia and Sunni. I never heard. See, this country, in the past history, sometimes some problems, but basically India is the example religious harmony. So India, number two most populated nation. But religious harmony there. So therefore, my number two commitment is try to promote religious harmony and mutual learning and work together. Then third my commitment, I'm Tibetan. Tibetan people trust me. They put a lot of hope on me. So I have moral responsibility. So regarding Tibet, my main concern is preservation of Tibetan language, because Tibetan language is the closest language with Sanskrit. So the ancient Buddhist tradition, Pali tradition, Sanskrit tradition, this is we Tibetan over 1,000 years, the Sanskrit tradition. See, we translated number of Sanskrit text and a Pali text. So together, altogether 300 volumes. You see, we study these texts and meditate. Very useful. So that knowledge, I feel, not only Tibetan, Tibetan knowledge or Tibetan thing, but I can say Tibetan knowledge, which come from Nalanda tradition, is really precious of world. Whether believer or non-believer, in Sanskrit tradition, lot of sort of explanation about logic, about philosophy. These we can consider academic subject, not religious subject. So therefore, I really feel worthwhile to preserve Tibetan knowledge since 8th century. The Shadarakshita from Nalanda, invited by Tibetan king, and he, great logician, great philosopher. So, with Tibetan, over 1,000 years, follow his advice seriously. So I feel this knowledge really worthwhile preserve. For that, Tibetan language very, very useful. So that's my, and then another thing is Tibetan environment. Tibet, high altitude, and most of the river which cover from Pakistan, India, then of course Bangladesh and these countries, and also the Vietnam, and then China, Yellow River. So the major river which cover whole Asia, the ultimate source from Tibet. Therefore, Tibetan ecology should sort of preserve. Particularly now, global warming, year by year or decade by decade. The global warming now obviously, I myself also experience when I came to Dharamsala in 1960. That winter, a lot of snow. Then each year, snow less. So that's clear sign of global warming. So now global warming really become very serious. So Tibet ecology preserve these sources of these river, very important. And then my fourth commitment, that is, since this knowledge originally come from India, modern India now should pay more attention this ancient Indian knowledge and secular way, not religious thing, not considered as a religion or Buddhism, but simply, for example, logic. You see, simply sort of training our mind, sharpening our mind, and nothing to do with next life or heaven. Simply this very life, you see, become more peaceful. So India, ahimsa, non-violence, over 3,000 years, these concepts, and karuna, compassion. That's the Indian tradition. So modern India now should pay more attention to preserve non-violence and compassion, these things. India have the possibility to combine inner value and material value combined. So that's my latest, fourth commitment, like that. So now here you, as a human brothers, sisters, think about my four commitment. If you find some useful, then try to implement and then share with more young people. Today's world, too much materialistic thinking, not much sort of thinking about our inner value. And psychologically, you should say, I think modern education, modernity only sort of concern sensorial consciousness. Not much thinking about a sixth mind. Sixth mind, you see, without they depend on eye consciousness, ear consciousness, because of the smell consciousness, all these ignore. But sixth mind, the basis of shamatha, single-pointed meditation, and vipassana, analytical meditation. These two are related with sixth mind, not senses of organs. So these, I think, is now in modern time, materialistic life, now pay more about our inner value. Firstly, inner sixth mind, like that. So, now questions.